5:05. We alive.
What's going on, everybody? It's Drake Reliant, talking my tag team partner, CTAHU Bang. We'll do all this intro shit when we get into the show. What we're going to talk about is it's that dirty Mone. Yeah, it's that dirty Mone. You know what I'm saying? AEW is moving the needle for me. You know, I hate no, did they?
No,
You know what? Let's just go. And see, I'm not always the one that kind of derails the show. I know I'm usually the agent of chaos around here. But hey, this guy here wants to take the mantle.
no, I was just.
Yeah,
I want to
man.
get away from. Forget it. Hey, let's just
I think the subtlety of the dirty was good enough. Yo, I don't know who made that a thing of no Diddy. We was good with pause.
I
Honestly,
feel like some pause.
we were good. We were good with pause. No Diddy takes it to a whole nother stratosphere. Okay,
Yeah,
so
man. He's one of those guys that you just hate at this point. Like, talk
you know
about
it's almost like no Vince.
yeah,
No Vince.
no Vince. Yeah, yo,
No Vince.
definitely 100% no Vince. Yo, that's what we need to use on this podcast. We starting that shit. No Vince.
No Vince. No Vince,
On
brother.
this podcast, whenever we want to say pause or no Diddy, no Vince now. All right. Anyways,
Oh man, y'all know what it is, man. Y'all know what it is. We're here for another week of Reasonable Wrestling. Johnny Reliant, tag team partner CTAK Bang. Talking about the week that was. So let's just get into it. The name of the show, Dirty Mone. Little subtlety, not so much for we, but Mercedes Mone. This is something that we have been clamoring, wanting, asking, begging for. Physicality, girl. We needed to see you get physical. I'm in my Montez Ford shit today. You know what I'm saying?
Physical.
Listen, come on, man. You know what I mean? So the contract signing, right? We kind of know it does what it does. We had a little idea that it could get physical, just like kind of any other contract signing. But shout out to Cody and AJ Styles, who just had a contract signing literally like last month that had no physicality, which was a surprise turn. So fast forward to here. This was a good piece of work for Willow, right? I know I started off in the shows Mone and everything like that, but this was a really good piece of business for Willow Nightingale. For the standpoint of like, first of all, first and foremost, baby girl, I'm champ. And last time we saw each other, I left as champ. And right then and there, that's wrestling animosity 101. You know what I'm saying? Like something that it's not complex. It's very simplistic. It's actually true. You know what I mean? Like so.
Didn't walk out at all. I think that was the line for me that I liked. Is like I walked out as champ last time, and you didn't walk out at all. That's a bar, And to hear the go happy go lucky, Will Nightingale, babyface, talk that shit. Oh man, it was awesome. I loved it. And like when you talk about Mercedes Mone, I think this is why she helps out because her talking that shit to Mercedes is bigger than anybody else, And I've been waiting for Mercedes Mone to get dirty, get her hands dirty. No, I wanted her to get her hands dirty because I came into the pod last week saying, Mercedes is being used like Bret Hart in WCW. This is the first time that I was like, oh, okay, we got something here. We got something here, all right? We got something here. Now, we shall see how they continue with it, but I thought this was a great moment to get Willow Nightingale some get her over more than she was already.
Absolutely.
And these moments matter. It wasn't just like some back and forth, like semi heat. She got some real heat. I think Mercedes Mone does. She's better as a heel. She's always been better as a heel. So I like her talking her shit too. But Willow Nightingale being able to like, listen, I can dominate you in this ring. Because look at her, like the size differential is big, is massive. You know, yeah, we all know that Sasha was a credible future Hall of Famer in WWE. We know Mercedes has done her thing in New Japan and New Japan Strong, and she's been doing great on her own in the Indies. But Willow is about to make her name now off of her. That one up, you know, and that's what I see is the biggest thing here. Willow making her name a household name. If they, especially if they have a good match, man. I want to see these women go. I want to see them, give them some time, like give them like I won't say 20 minutes, but you know, like 15, 20,
No,
like in between.
honestly, I think it suits well for AEW. It suits well for Mercedes. I don't think it would do her justice to have a quick match.
No.
I don't think it does her justice for to have a quick match, 8-minute, 10-minute, 12-minute match. Let her get her feet kind of, cemented in the work field with a nice solid 15, 16, 17, 18-minute match. I think that fits the bill for AEW, and I think that fits the appetite that we want right now for Mercedes.
Yeah. Exactly. So I'm excuse me. I'm gonna keep tune with this. I thought this was a good show for AEW as a whole. You know,
It was.
This was one of the parts that I really enjoyed. I want to talk about Swerve for a moment. If we can pivot.
Go ahead.
Swerve, I think, is becoming one of my favorite AEW champions. Even though, like,
already,
I like what he's doing, man. I do. I think that what he is here's the thing about what I like in wrestling. I like changes, transitions, meaning, purpose, depth in the character. And him reaping what he is sowing that he's done to other people now being done to him, I think is a great story in itself. And the characterization of Swerve since he's entered AEW till now, everything with Keith Lee, everything with Rick Ross, everything he's done, with Adam Hangman Page till now, I think this is the best Swerve we've seen his entire career. And I know they're getting the upper hand on him the past couple of weeks, but I appreciate that adds to the story of his character in ways that he said it himself, like, yeah, like I've done some bad things in the past, and maybe I'm getting, reaping what he sold, kind of like getting karma. So, talking about people's family, going to their house. Now you have people pulling up your family in photos and showing you and busting you up. Your guys turning on you. It's to me, I see the kind of poetic justice in it all.
It's the complete turn that I feel like had to happen, that I wouldn't have mind if it didn't happen, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I hear you. But when I see Christian Cage and Swerve, who last year were the two biggest heels in like the business at one point, to me now link up and get to do this work of piece together. This week it got me hooked. Like, I want to see how this goes further, how Swerve will respond. He's been beaten down 3 weeks in a row, and he's on his own. And I like that, man. I like him as a solo babyface champion, with who's kind of like a chip on his shoulder, still fighting. He's now the target. He's not hunting anymore. So how you stay relevant as the target is you got to get people sympathy, and I think it's working. At least for me, if I watch that segment and I'm like, all right, I see where they're going with this. Swerve ain't getting, the upper hand on Christian anytime soon, but we get to see how he evolves with losing the, Mogul Embassy. Now he only got, Prince Nana by his side, but he's also trying to do things the right way. How he competed against Samoa Joe. I think it all plays into his character. It's not just having a match. Whenever Swerve's out there, that's what I'm talking about. Like, whenever he's out there, everything has led into the next part of his story. He's not just out there just to have a match. He's out there to tell a story and to advance it week by week. And I think that's what I liked about him and Hangman Page, him and Keith Lee and his story as a whole, and I see him taking his role as the the quarterback, so to speak, of the company seriously. I think he's matured so much. The fact that he's willing to play his put his family into the storyline and everything to make it more interesting, to make people more captivated in the story, it means a lot to me as a fan. So I'm not sure if Chris just got he was frozen for a little bit, but basically what I'm trying to say is when it comes to pro wrestling and when it comes to why we remember the Randy Ortons, the Macho Mans, the Hulk Hogan's, the John Cena's, the Rocks, is partially their charisma. But for me, I remember the Bretts. I remember the I don't want to the Christians, the AJ Styles, the people who kind of have captured a story element that I like. Even Undertaker, the Bray Wyatt, the creativity of how you bring elements to your character moving forward every single week. It's not just come out here and work. The Seth Rollins is that adds elements to his character all the time. Even Chris Jericho, those guys who have evolved, and I'm seeing that in Swerve. He seems like he is a student of the game, and he's now getting a chance to show what he is as a main event star. So I don't think he would have gotten that in WWE if not, definitely not this soon. So I think he's honestly in the right place, right time, and I'm really happy that he's doing what he got to do because I think that there's certain people that belong in AEW, and Swerve's one of those guys. And that's not a knock. That means that he's in the right place at the right time to maximize what he has. I think that he's honestly one of the best they got.
I was able to hear you that whole time. I was just, my weekly goddamn, you know what I mean? But my Jakara Jackson, what I mean? So I was able to actually hear you, and so when you break down what you spoke about why you like Swerve and the character development and the elements of Swerve that we've seen on and off, I would like to put first and foremost. You know what I mean?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
I'll jack it up.
I think it's tough for me to tell right now, to be completely honest.
Okay.
Right? I'll respect you on how you feel again, Kendrick Drake type situation. I respect how you feel about King Kendrick, greatest lyricist of all time, but Swerve being one of the greatest AEW champions, I will say he's one of the most special for me. That's because again, the personal connection, the career maturation that we've been privy to witness. That is without a doubt the second biggest wrestling promotion in North America. I know we got CMLL and AAA and TNA and Japan's not North America, so I can't even give, you know what I'm saying? So North America, AEW quickly within the last 6 years cemented itself with this television, the money that's put behind it, the brand thing, the make goods that they have with the television network, all that to solidify themselves as a number two, right? And a viable number two that this champion as Swerve feels like something, because no disrespect to TNA champions like Moose and damn, I'm trying to think of another black TNA champion right now. Oh, Bobby Lashley. My apologies. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to them. The leverage that the wrestling company and the equity that the wrestling company has plays a big part in why we feel this way about Swerve. I will say that he has this feud with Christian, and the next thing he does to put him in the tier of Moxley and Omega, I think he can solidify himself past Joe. So I think that's the order for me right now. I think it's Moxley, Omega, Joe as
Page and MJF. What them?
top five. We smoking on top fives, but we talking about like I mean like MJF's reign. We spoke about it. That back half wasn't it.
You know what's funny about that back half? That back half, to some people, to like a segment of the fan base, they loved that shit. So for some people, they loved MJF's reign. That back half for me and you, it wasn't it.
It wasn't it.
People right now, Adam Cole and MJF as if it was like dream match, one of the best matches of last year. I went back and saw it, didn't like it. I don't like that comedy shit in my main event title picture. I don't.
I think even with it's 8 champions, I believe, right? Eight champions. I have moved Jericho down as the most important champion because Moxley is now the most overall greatest AEW champion. Yeah. Right? Like that's
yeah. So yeah, CM Punk, Jericho, but Moxley's number one for me too. I think
Moxley. Yeah. I thought like Jericho carried him, like his name, presence, everything like that. No. Moxley was the reason we was there when Jericho was champion. We wanted to see what that nigga was up to. We wanted to see the character, again, the character maturation, just like with Swerve. Shane Swerve Strickland is that's the Isaiah Scott is the exit that, you know what I'm saying, that nigga's, but we've seen Shane's kill shot is the nigga, we've Shane Swerve Strickland from MLW. The first show at the fight and then the MLW and all of that to AEW. That is something that fans really can attach themselves.
I think that's really his best stuff. I think that the Isaiah Scott portion was him kind of getting lost in a bit. Not due to his own not to his own fault.
I think that was Swerve. It was Swerve without being Swerve.
Yeah, right? Exactly. So he gets more freedom to be himself. I really was curious about what he was going to do with Hit Row on the main roster because it was getting over. Like it was working. So right now, if Hit Row were to, if they disbanded or whatever, if they booked him right, maybe he would be like an Intercontinental champion. Maybe he would be, a United States champion right now. But to be the leader of a company versus being a mid-card champion, I think does way more for him in his career than what WWE would have given him. So that's why I'm happy that AEW exists. I never said AEW should fail. I was on the bandwagon early that they wanted to succeed. And this is the reason why. We get to see the evolution of characters. And he's honestly, him and MJF are the two best examples, I could say. And Hangman are the best examples of, people growing as champion, growing into a champion and leading the company in a way that I could say, yeah, I buy into. MJF, obviously the back half of his reign wasn't great, but he definitely, under the umbrella of AEW, got over. There was no doubt about how over.
Absolutely. And I think also that goes into Hangman Page, right? That's why I say, excuse me, smoking on this crumble cake, it is hitting, boy. That's why I say it's important as to what Swerve does next. Yeah. Tyrese Halliburton is killing the Knicks. Jesus Christ.
Oh, man.
That's over. He out there looking like Reggie Miller in the Garden.
Damn, where's Brunson when you need him, bro? Is he injured?
Nah, he out there, but it's just
okay. The other guys are injured, right? The other
it's just it's one of those nights, man. It's one of those nights where you don't have it, and if they have it,
it's over.
We play the Madden all the time, right? If you come in and first possession is some fluke shit or fumble or whatever, like, or I run the ball first 2 plays and it's like 3rd and 14, I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, you don't have it.
behind the
you,
scenes, yeah,
you
that
don't
you're
have
over here fighting uphill, you know. Yeah, so shout out to the Knicks. They had a great run, man. But sometimes you gotta, go wait till next year. Take it to the next level. Hopefully, they get somebody in the draft. And
that's what Swerve did last year. You said that you 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 put it on Swerve to do
yeah,
exactly what you just spoke about. Tie everything together. You told Swerve, hey, by next year, I want to see if you can capitalize on this momentum. I need to see if you can keep the ball rolling. And you put it on Tony to say, whatever you got going, make the fucking change.
yeah,
Right? Because
yeah.
for so long we used
While the iron is hot with Swerve, and I
exactly.
remember Swerve's press conference when he won it. And he's like, no, like right now, like, not like wait until your turn or wait until like when time, or we got something else going on. Like, no, like I want this right now. And I'm like, that's exactly what my sentiment was as well. Strike while the iron is hot. He is hot right now. Don't try to be too smart about this, And him beating somebody like Samoa Joe, who's a badass in his own right, gives him that credibility as champion. Him now losing Mogul Embassy, and now he's on his own. Like you said, what he does now moving forward is going to be very intriguing and seeing where it goes. But I was like, yo, a couple weeks ago, I was like, yo, they didn't tell the story about Mogul Embassy. Like, we just don't see him anymore. They're telling it now on TV. And I appreciate it. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, you guys are doing it late. No, I just appreciate that it's being done at all. Because when you have a character like Swerve, who had a group, and then for months you don't see the group anymore, and he's now turned to, like, they had a double turn with Hangman, and he's now a champion and a babyface, and that group hasn't been seen on TV at all. What happened? So I was like, all right, cool. They finally are getting to tell it, and he's outnumbered, man. Like, let's be real. So he should be getting beat up every single week if you really think about it, But this is the moment where he rises up and to really solidify himself as a babyface champion who has the grit to overcome the odds, of his old group turning on him and going against, the patriarchy in Christian Cage, and Nick Wayne and his mom and whatnot. So, and Luchasaurus, or Killshot, they call him. So there's a lot he got up against. So him and Christian, I think, can put on a great show at Double Nothing 2. They can put on a great match. So I'm lit for that. So you got Mercedes Moné and Willow. I want to see that. You got Willow. And Willow. You guys want to see that? You got Swerve and Christian Cage. Is there anything else that you're looking forward to with Double or Nothing coming up?
The other thing I'm looking forward to, Double or Nothing, it looks like they were setting up Malachi Black and Adam Copeland.
Yeah.
The angle is pretty sweet, to be quite honest. Like, first and foremost, last week, are you drinking milk, Kurt Angle? No, last week, or the week before last, Kyle O'Reilly had put his name in a hat as he wanted to challenge Adam Copeland. We know Adam Copeland's been dealing with the House of Black situation. He had matches with Buddy Murphy. Last week 2 weeks ago was the banger. Had a match with Brody King this past week, which was another banger. He comes out, cut a promo. House of Black comes out. They take the nigga Wet and Ring, and we like, bruh, what is going on now? You know what I'm saying? Like, we already know, don't fuck with niggas' family. They did the same thing with Dax and Cash. You know what I'm saying? When they did the feud with them. You know what I mean? So it seems like, it looks like a little bit of a repeat. So I just want to see where it's going. But I think this will be another good match, another great test, another check box marked off from Adam Copeland wrestling and Malachi Black. I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, me too. I think that's going to be great for Malachi Black. We have not seen him really get his shine. So I think him and Adam Copeland, TNT Championship on the line. I think we should get a change of champion. And that, I want to see Malachi, get the title. So that'd be dope. So you're right. That angle has been good. So they got 3 angles now that I'm saying, all right, I'm going to tune in. So I will be watching AEW next week. I'm letting y'all know I'm back. So hopefully y'all don't disappoint me and give me something like Jeff Hardy versus Jeff Jarrett or something like that. All right. So we'll see.
See, you got to stop bringing up stuff like, because as you can see, they listen to us, no matter how narcissistic that may sound. So by you just throwing shit out there, we might fuck around and get Jeff Jarrett and sing them sing and all that. And I'm gonna be so mad because it's gonna be your fault. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, I said I don't want to, but hey man, if they do that, then hey, it's not my fault. That's them, man. They done shit like that crazy
It ain't
before.
my fault. Did I do that?
Oh, how do you feel about Hook?
And Jericho?
The word on the street is they're killing Hook. Like, do you think it's
Word on the
intentional?
street that he been dead, nigga. He been dead. You know why? Because he had a feud with Jack Perry.
Oh, okay. You not excited for Anarchy in the Arena?
Uh with Darby coming back, you know, I put in a review. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad we volleying off of each other with that. I
Yeah.
put in my review that Darby is a great fit for the match. Him and Jack Perry make sense by them being two pillars being involved in the match.
Yeah. True.
Okada and Danielson has history that makes sense with them being involved in the match, including FTR and the Young Bucks. So it really does feel like it matches and adds up. It makes sense. The story, I don't know, bro. I was, when it was AWEO or whatever the fuck we name that shit. I was like, yeah, I don't even know, bro. I don't know. Like this shit, they gotta do something with it for me. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
And I get it. Anarchy Arena AEW versus the Elite. For me, I don't mind that even. I really don't even mind that. I just don't like the match type to me. But the Darby Allin return, it was incredible seeing him back. Dude, got his foot broken, and then he was supposed to climb Mount Everest. That didn't happen. He gets hit by a bus. Dude is indestructible, man, and he's coming now to being one of the most like chaotic matches in AEW. So we'll see how it fares for him. And I'm excited to see him back because I think he does bring a little bit of star power to the angle of low key. Like Darby's a real star. It mattered. We
Yeah, I mean,
also
like kids is really like out of the niggas in the match, and it ain't no niggas in the match. So forgive me. Out of the people in the match, Darby legit the only one that got kids like legit. Like he got that demo.
yeah
Like
he
he
does.
he got that like all them other people is like old niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I watched them in New Japan. No, these niggas just now seeing Darby on the skateboard. They fucking with him. You know what I'm saying?
And yeah,
So
it's like he has an underdog thing about him. A Daredevil, he's an underdog, smaller dude who is gonna take down some big dude, so I can see why kids gravitate towards him because he's like, oh man, he's so cool. So I could see why, and him bringing that level of, I'm not sure if he's been in the Anarchy and Arena match. He probably has maybe once, but I think it's a great environment for him because of his creativity. So it could end up being good. Even though I'm not a big fan of the match, it could end up being good. We also will be getting Roddy versus Will Ospreay for the International Championship. Oh my goodness, I'm really, really excited for this. But I just saw just now watching Will Ospreay right now as we speak versus Shane Taylor, and Will Ospreay hit him with the Stormbreaker. That shit was crazy.
yeah,
That's wild. Good match. Shane Taylor, man, that dude for a guy his size moves, yo. So shout out to Shane Taylor having a great match with Will Ospreay on Collision last night. I'm just tapping in with that now. But we're setting this up for the International Championship. Roddy and Will Ospreay. And I told you, Roddy, I like a lot as a wrestler. So I'm all for the match, but I didn't think we're going here with Will Ospreay. So the match itself, I'm excited for. I told you, Roddy and Kyle Raleigh was one of the best matches on that show we had, Dynasty. It was like legit, regardless of the booking and whatever you want to say. It was one of the best matches. But go back and watch it if you guys haven't. I was probably one of my favorite matches of the night. This, however, Roderick Strong and Will Ospreay has potential to be just as good. And I think because they're two professional wrestlers that have interesting styles, and I think it's gonna be a one of those things where you have the false finishes and all that stuff. But does Will Ospreay win the title? I think he has to. You know, kind of has to.
Yeah, I mean he is a matter of fact international star.
Yeah,
Him holding the international title. Um, yeah, it only makes the most sense,
yeah,
right? You know what I mean? Like I think it only makes the most sense. So, with that being said, does that set up Will Ospreay and Adam Cole? Which I wouldn't mind separating Will Ospreay and Swerve for some time, right? I don't think that has to happen immediately.
it
I
don't.
think
It
them
don't. Yeah,
refuse matter, right? So, if or does this lead to Roddy getting kicked out of the second group? You know what I'm saying with Adam Cole? I'll be down with that too. Like, give me a story with that. You know what I mean? Exile
yeah.
Roddy. You know what I mean? Like, I think that leads to something. So, I would rather that happen than Will Ospreay
I'm,
moves.
it's the summertime coming up. I'm going to try to be a little bit more in tune with where AEW is going and just watch it and watch the movie and see how things play out and give it some credence because I just mentioned like 3, 4 things that I'm excited for. So once you get me excited like that, I gotta sit back and be like, all right, let me tune in and watch. But when you have like a show where it's like I didn't like anything, I stopped watching. I'm gonna be honest. I don't waste my time. If it's a whole bunch of shit that I'm not interested in seeing, I do want to see the payoff of Swerve and the patriarchy. I do want to see the payoff of Mercedes Moné and Little Nightingale. Even Serena Deeb and Tony Storm, I think could be a really good match. But yeah, man, I think they're picking things up. So shout out to AEW.
Absolutely, absolutely. Also, uh, picking things up. Let's shout out Angel Reese for on tying down. I've been watching a little bit of WNBA, and a lot of attention been going to Caitlin Clark. But baby girl graduated, walked the stage, went to the Met Gala, and balled out in 2 games. So I just wanted to give a shout. When you say consistently getting better, I haven't, I'm a Johnny come lately. I've been following her 3 years now. Like I ain't been seeing her since high school, like Juju Watkins, you know what I'm saying? But, Sia Hooks. But Angel Reese, man, I'll just watch some highlights as you was watching highlights earlier. That nigga has 7 offensive rebounds. That's a dog. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Angel Reese.
Angel
Yeah,
Reese, man. Shout out WNBA women's basketball. So shout out to
that
doing her thing out
that
there, man. It's good.
that pivots to me in my women's take. Ajax and Jay Cargill.
Yeah, you
Um,
heard my takes on that, so I'm gonna let you go. Let you cook. Okay.
well, I will say this: Nia Jackson, Jay had one of the most entertaining matches thus far
If you
this
can call
year.
it a match, it was just a segment. It was just a moment.
I was there at the Rumble. She came in and when Jay came in and I was there, she pretty much drew the line. That was Jade's moment. Um, I've been wanting to see this as a feud. I said I think Nia should be Jade's first feud coming in. It's it's not, but it will be. And I'm excited for it because
Really excited too.
Jay so Nia looked dominant. And it was an accidental little spot where we got some blood where Jay saw the blood and that added a little bit of extra joint. Um,
I missed the blood
it's
part. She got cut.
when Nia swung the chair, Jay didn't catch it flush. It hit her.
Oh, word.
So yeah, so it was a little joint there. You know
Okay,
what
I
I'm
gotta go back
saying?
and check that one out
They
because I didn't
still
see
did the
that.
spot. She still looked Jay still did, was professional about it, like it, but I know it's probably in the moment, the adrenaline, a little piece of the chair shot. You know what I'm saying? So
Nah, man. Shout out to Jay Cargill. I talked about it on Smack Talk this week on the show after my recap show. She's just improving. I see a night and day difference between her and that match, Queen of the Ring quarterfinals match, Nia Jackson Jade. I'm looking at that. I'm like, okay, let's see how these guys link up. Let's see how the chemistry is. Yo, off the rip, Nia punches in her face, drops her. Off the rip, drops her, and then she's fighting from behind the entire. You're muted. What'd you say? Yeah, you're
I
muted.
said, I said off the rip.
Yeah,
She smacked her off the rip,
off the
cause
rip. I talked about Jay, fighting from behind with Piper last week. She did the same this week, and I think as a babyface, Jay feels like, man. Talk about like a five, like tool player. Like she has everything. If I'm telling you, if her in ring work takes even a 5% increase from where she was in AEW or 10%, she's going to be the biggest thing going in wrestling. Because seeing her, especially her fighting from behind, to me, it's such a big deal because as a babyface champion or as a babyface period, you want to garner sympathy. Now, when you're Jade Cargill, cut abs, look chiseled, pretty as hell, perfect. It's hard to garner sympathy. But I see her selling now. I see her selling to Nia, selling to Piper Niven. And it's like, oh, when she ends up becoming a women's champion, I can see it going well for her because she's not going to just be dominating everybody. She knows how to also take a beating, no Vince, and go and keep ticking, So and then she's not dominator outside the ring, throwing the ring post, had her in front of her child, said your mommy sucks. Her kid's like, no, she doesn't, And then you have her toss her over the barricade. Nia grabs a chair, she goes to swing it, she catches it, starts beating the shit out of Nia. It's a disqualification. So now Nia moves on to face the winner of the first match of the night, which to me was the best match of the night, Bianca Belair versus Stratton. And Bianca was victory, so it's going to be Nia versus Bianca. Now, speaking of just the women in general, I'm going to be honest with you. The women's matches have been better than the men's matches in this tournament. They have really, really. Hey, it's not like a foregone conclusion that's going to happen. There's a lot of talented men on the roster. I mean, if you take out.
I'm sorry. I would say the way that the matches lined up, the matches had stories, right? Bianca and Tiffany, right? Minor run-ins, but minor enough. Oh my God, what's up, Nolo?
What's
I
good?
thought it was a great way to get Nia past Jay without Jay looking weaker. Exactly.
100%.
Exactly.
100%.
Exactly.
Honestly, it works, man. Because Jay got her first loss through a DQ, which we're not talking about. Oh, Jay lost. We're talking about we want to see this feud. We want to see them fight. We want to see them, get in the ring. And like I was like saying, immediately I'm turned on. Figuratively, of course, to see this develop. And then on top of that, like I was just saying. No Vince, So I genuinely want to see, what they got going. I want to give them time too. I'm not sure when, but that is a match made like the fans were wanting to fight. They were chanting bullshit. So we're locked in with that feud down the line. The Tiffany Stratton Bianca thing, they're obviously two supreme athletes in their own right. I thought Tiffany might pull out the victory in that match because Bianca was telling me. Tiffany seemed like she would be a great queen of the ring, like kind of like a heel. But
Queen Tiffany had a ring to it.
Yeah, it was Tiffany time, the princess whole thing gimmick going for her. But it was an incredible match. Like it was like like the match of the night for me on SmackDown. And like I said, the women have been performing. They've been kicking the guy's ass in this tournament. Outside of Ila Dragunov and Ricochet, I have about like 4 women matches at my top match. I think outside of that one, but yeah, man, they've been kicking butt. So shout out to the women for the Queens of the Ring tournament. I'm glad they're getting time. I talked about on Raw, Zoe Stark and Ivy Now. I thought that was a really good match. Talked about Io and Natalia, really good match on Raw a week ago. So where we are now, we have Nia Jax versus Bianca on one side of the bracket. Other side, you got Lyra Valkyrie, Io Sky. This is just lined up for Queen Nia in my mind. Like, I love where we're at.
Absolutely. And listen, we said Nia needed something, bro. We said Nia needed something to solidify her return and how great she looked, how well rounded she has performed, how much balance she had brought to the roster. You got to remember at the point when she came, like Rhea Ripley was running roughshod. She probably still would have been running roughshod over the roster, but Nia added a little balance because Rhea took out 4 competitors in one match and was like, "Who's next?" Ah! You know what I'm saying? Like real great. You know what I mean? So like
her Goldberg shit for sure, man.
bro,
Rhea's dominant champion, but I think Nia really did help her, like solidify herself as champion. Like she had some competition, she had some real, something to overcome as a champion. And then on top of that, like you bring it to the battle royal they had for Raw for the Raw Women's Championship. I thought she should have won that. So Nia, like you said, we've been saying she needs something, but the Queen Nia, man, to have her as champion as Queen, I think would be ill. And then her win a championship as Queen, perfect gimmick for her.
Yeah,
I think this could be her best run in her career.
Nia and Bailey would be okay.
Yeah,
Nia and Bailey would be perfect. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Nia and Bailey would be absolutely perfect.
But she got to go through Jade first, or maybe Jade after. Oh.
No, I think by then, if Jade is coming for the title, that means her and Bianca done split up. You know what I'm saying? So
at some point, it gotta happen.
Yeah, but at some point, like when you say that gotta happen
down the line.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, all right, because they cut the promo themselves. Is like they cut the promos themselves. Like, yo, let us be champion. Let us enjoy the moment. Like, damn, why are y'all trying to bring us a party? You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
we're the fans. We're gonna have to talk about looking like I love it, tag team champions, but at the same time, they're not defending the tag team championships either. So we might as well see them fight. I'm just saying. Anything else you want? Actually, moving on. What else we got this week with Raw or SmackDown that we want?
Well, I mean, one of the matches that you didn't bring up was Ilya versus Jey Uso. Which I thought was a pretty good match in itself that had a little bit of intrigue.
Yeah.
You did say how the main event on Monday went would determine how you saw Friday's matches going and everything like that. Carmelo Hayes and Randy Orton had a really great bro. When I say dumb niggas was like folded laundry, them niggas was together like folded laundry, my nigga. Them niggas was in symmetry, bro.
It was a lot of chemistry there, bro.
It was
match, with Randy. It was dope. They both just seamlessly, seemed effortless, So shout out to them in the main event. I do have a little gripe, not with that, because Randy Orton being in the semifinals, cool. But him facing Tama Tonga, and I know you wanted Tama Tonga versus Randy Orton. So you're gonna get that next week on SmackDown. But in my mind, I'm looking at this like, why isn't Solo in this tournament instead? Every match Tama has had has been anticlimactic, with him getting a little bit of interference, hits him with a jumping STO, he pins the guy, And I'm like, cool. If we're gonna do that, we might as well give Solo a rub. Solo should be the man to be king, especially with the whole tribal chief being gone, like and him being tribal heir. It just adds more to the story to me because I don't see Tama Tonga winning King of the Ring. I don't think there's any chance that he wins King of the Ring. I think we're gonna get Randy Orton versus Gunther, or actually, I don't know. It could be Jay versus Tama.
Exactly. Tama Tonga versus Jay Uso to keep the bloodline story with some branches. How don't you see the vision? You
But
know what
wouldn't
I'm
that be better
saying?
with Solo versus Jay? Because he
No, we this is how an underboss never stays an underboss. When you get a position to be the fucking boss, when you got a position to be fucking Avon Barksdale, you know what I'm saying? You never go back to being on the corner again. Meaning Solo now has already stepped into the role of tribal chief. Why? Because that nigga ain't there. And what happens when a nigga go away or a nigga get popped or a nigga down for some time? The underboss takes the boss role. So with that being said, I don't do shit I used to do. Meaning I don't go out there and get my hands dirty for no fucking reason because that ain't what Roman taught me. Roman used to fucking send these little niggas out here, including me, to go do that. Now I got me a Solo. I got me a street champion. And I'll send him out there to get that done.
Unless there is a prize, and as street champion, you have not won a goddamn thing on the main roster. So this could be something that could be a notch on Solo's belt. As street champion, this is your opportunity to do what Roman did and get championship gold, or a crown, and surround yourself with help that can help you achieve that goal. To me that makes more sense. Like I think Solo.
Let me incite some street just real quick before that. When you say he ain't win a goddamn thing, again.
He could even win the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. He could have won that. He had
bro,
nothing on his belt. No notch.
He do though. He earned it again. I'm feared. One, I earned the respect of the top dog. Two, again, you can roll your eyes all you want, but that's again, you can have your logic and have
talking about accolades. Talking about
bro, that shit don't matter when you're a street nigga, is what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I'm trying. That's why I said let me incite the street. When you're street, what the fuck is a goal, nigga? I'm out the streets, nigga. Like that's the number one goal. Number two, if the boss, which is the top dog, tells everybody around in the streets that I'm the next guy up, that's bigger than gold for a street dude. And Solo is acting in kind as a person that, again, like you say, that's the character flaw. He's acting like something and don't have anything to kind of bolster that up. Now, I hear you saying that he can go after the King of the Ring, but again, if he is top dog, he's now looking at Cody, is what I'm saying.
I get you from a story standpoint, and I hear where you're falling. I follow you. He's the top dog. He's the boss now. He's making the plays. You go out there and do that. I ain't get my hands dirty. Got it. But let me ask you, as a fan, going into King and Queen of the Ring, if the King of the Ring matchup is Jey Uso and Tama Tonga, or if it's Jey Uso and Solo Sikoa, which one is more of like 50-50? To me, I think Tama has zero shot of winning this tournament. I think that Jey Uso is not losing to Tama Tonga in that position. However, if Jey Uso,
how can he lose if you just said Tama been winning all his matches with interference? That's what
I get that, but I'm talking about let's be real, like as the people's prestigious back, the political side.
I'm being real though.
Kayfabe, yeah, I hear you, but Jey Uso is so over right now that I would think that Solo has a chance to beat him regardless, and even him would be like a stretch more than Tama Tonga, who's brand new. Like, you feel me?
Well, no. If you this is why I'm trying to to again have you come up. So, if Jay loses, this is how many big matches Jay have lost. This bolsters the same babyface archetype as Cody Rhodes. How long can we ride you out until we give you the big moment? And the only reason why I'm saying that is because
Okay.
on storyline, I'm hearing a lot of this is the son of Haku. This is the son of Haku. If we ever get a real fucking King of the Ring history lesson, who was a fucking King of the Ring? King Haku.
He wasn't king of the ring. He was just king.
I mean, he was king. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say
like pal.
hey, man. Hey, when you want, hey, it's the same thing as Solo. When I'm known as the baddest nigga in the ring, I'm the king. I'm the king.
But Jerry Kimura did the same thing. He's made himself a king. Those type of dudes. Who's just like, I'm just gonna go with the king gimmick. But King Haku, I feel you. Son of son of Haku, Tama Tonga, King Tama. I don't see that being a story element that's going to move.
I don't see, but it can, as you say, it can give a new character, a new role player, something that Solo did not have or still don't have when we are building out these new 2.0 characters. In Marvel, I know we didn't really like a lot of Phase 4, but early in Phase 4, Phase 5, they gave them niggas right off the bat. This is your mission, so niggas don't fall off because they don't have the length of attention span like they had for the story arc of Tony Storm. I'm sorry, Tony Storm. God damn it, shoot, Tony Stark. Or they don't have Thor 1 was not good. Right? Like we had to wait till Thor 2 was good before we, you know what I'm saying? Like
ass. Thor 2 was worse than Thor 1.
I mean,
Thor 3 was when it started like, all right, you see who Thor is now finally. But no, I feel you. I mean, with all being said, where we are right now, I do not know where we're going. So you got a point there. But after Monday night, I will know who's king of the ring. Put it that way. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
Bro, you say that, and you just said that last week, bro, and you don't know.
Last week I said after Monday night I'll know who's winning on Thursday, and for the men, and I did, So I think like, hey, we'll see. With LA Knight, he had a match. He ends up losing, but I like what they're doing with him and Carmelo having their little banter backstage. They're honestly very charismatic. I like them talking their talk, smack talk. He did have a moment with Logan Paul backstage where they kind of stared each other down. Intriguing because during the contract signing between Cody and Logan pulled a lawyer move and said that he's not going to be defending his United States Championship. So with that being said, we just got Cody Rhodes defending the World WWE Championship against Logan Paul in Saudi Arabia. We talked a little bit about this because you were in the chat when we were discussing this, and you said this is just a match where it's just a filler for Cody's reign, and I feel you on that. Like essentially, this is going to be a good match, and there's no real substance behind it, and there's no real chance that Cody's going to lose his championship. Let's be real. So it's just a match that can be entertaining. So that's what they're doing. I give y'all one more month before I'm like, what the fuck.
You asked for LA Knight to have a moment, right? So does LA Knight have a moment at SummerSlam against Logan Paul in Cleveland?
That's what people are saying, and I'm cool with that. I think he'll be a great United States champion. However, I think he should be on Raw still. But I will take LA Knight winning United States Championship at SummerSlam. That'll be cool for him.
I want to know why would LA Knight be on Raw when again he'll be? Is LA Knight bigger than Drew McIntyre?
LA Knight is like close. He's getting there. He's not bigger now. No.
Is he bigger than CM Punk?
But here's the thing. No, he's not bigger than CM Punk or Drew McIntyre. but he will be the second biggest baby face on the roster if he were there. Outside of CM Punk, who else is bigger than him as babyface?
Jey Uso. And he's not bigger than Jey Uso.
If he has a championship, he is.
But that's not what we're talking about, though. You say he should be on Raw, and you said he should usurp Damian Priest. Nah, if that's the case, get a championship to Jey Uso. Like, don't get a championship to LA Knight. Get a championship to Jey Uso.
Who do you prefer as a world champion, Jey Uso or LA Knight?
If we talking about right now, storyline, everything, I'm not even gonna do the recency bias. If LA Knight went to Raw, just your thing, he would be third. Jey Uso, CM Punk, LA Knight.
Okay.
And when it comes to if he gets the championship opportunity, because we got Drew McIntyre involved with CM Punk, and Jey Uso's tied into this, Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre for the championship. Is that better than Damian Priest and LA Knight?
Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest and LA Knight. I think you can do both. I think honestly that it doesn't like if he's on Raw, you can do both those matches, and I think both of them are good. I think right now Damian Priest and LA Knight to me is a bigger match because it's a heel face dynamic. But then again, Damian Priest right now is like in this tweener place, So I like the potential of him solidifying himself as a heel because even though he's in the tweener space, he kind of is still a heel. He'd be saying shit that's just like heelish when he's backstage with the Judgment Day and shit. But I kind of think that LA Knight could get more of that heel side from him in an angle. Him and Drew, to me, he's playing second fiddle to Drew's heel every single time they're in the ring together. And it kind of sucks. He kind of being overshadowed a little bit. He did have some bars against Drew this week, like
Is it though? Because I think he Drew lost this stand down with Damian. Damian came out, absolutely. First and foremost, Drew came out to talk his shit. Damian cut that nigga off because he said, first and foremost, talk my name, I'm coming out here, you say it to my fucking face. That's first and foremost. Like that shit. Second of all, then broke that nigga down bar for bar when he was like, nigga, who fought is this? Who fought is this? Who fought is this? If you wanted a title shot, nigga, I'm right here. Like, point blank period, that fucking Puerto Rican, New York nigga that we all know that is, when he's emotional and angry enough, he about to fuck some shit up, but otherwise he a cool ass, chill ass, hookah smoking ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe he plays second fiddle. I think he stepped up as champion in that ring against Drew. And he made Drew fucking tie down a little bit because, nigga, you are second angle. If we being quite honest, you fucking with Punk. Second,
Drew and Punk has been the biggest angle on Raw. Let's be real. It's been the biggest angle on Raw since WrestleMania.
Well, and that's why I'm saying that's why I say Drew and Damian. LA Knight would have muddled it with the draft because Damian pinned Drew for the title. So when we talking about story included, does Drew win his title back or does Damian keep the title?
No, Drew did not win the title back.
Okay.
I like LA Knight and Damian Priest. I like Drew getting a chance and losing. I like Damian Priest and LA Knight in a SummerSlam angle, and you give me Drew and CM Punk doing like a freaking whatever they're doing, like maybe in a bigger.
Where's Jey Uso?
Jey Uso, he can be something. He can be there where I'm
the top baby face #1 draft pick, nigga. I need that match with Damian at SummerSlam.
Maybe he should face Logan Paul. Maybe he should face Bronson Reed or Chad Gable. That's what I'm talking about. He could be intercontinental champion. Jey Uso doesn't need to be world champion. Jey Uso needs to have a singles championship. He's been known for his entire life as a tag team specialist. He's a twin. Now, the biggest thing for him is just to win a title by himself. That's it. LA Knight he's up there. And he needs to win a world championship, bro. To me. I mean, it'd be cool to say, "Oh, LA Knight had a good run," and then he retired as two-time United States champion. Nah, I want him to have a moment because the fans are behind him now. So him rolling around against Damian Priest with the Judgment Day, having to overcome the Judgment Day would have been great for a SummerSlam angle. And then on top of that, Drew McIntyre's in the weights for him. And then down the line, you got freaking Seth Rollins in the weights when he gets back from injury. That's lit to me. Drew McIntyre, I think LA Knight brings the energy up a little bit. That's just my opinion, and I get it. Some people might not think that. Jey Uso might be somebody else's favorite because right now he got the yeet, he doing all this and shit. Some people think though the yeet has stunted Jey Uso's growth to the point where he's now just a character of what he used to be and have some depth to his character and his promos. Now it's just yeet this, yeet that, yeet this, yeet that, and losing matches in big moments. So King Jay, to me, might be what they do. But to
Jay
me,
hasn't lost a match clean though. Jay,
I know.
So I mean that plays into where you was like, as you make a statement, I'm listening to you and the tonality and how the inflection in the tone, and you're like, yeet this, nigga. What's that little kid, that little girl? She like, nigga, shit, fuck, goddamn, nigga, like Jay used to just be like, bro, can I get TV time without a nigga fucking with me? Like, these the only matches.
Same thing about LA.
No, these the only matches he been in that Jay ain't interfering, Solo ain't interfering.
You can say the same thing for LA Knight. You can say the same exact thing for LA Knight. So
that's not true. LA Knight just lost the match. He lost the match to AJ Styles without the club. Like he just, but bro, Jay ain't lose to no poking eye. Jay been pulled out the ring and super kicked by his brother in the World Championship match, nigga.
Right, now we're talking semantics. Come on now. Like,
no one ain't talking semantics.
They're both being cheated out the matches, and he beat AJ clean at WrestleMania. So like it just to me.
So and Jay beat Jimmy clean at WrestleMania. So we talk
online. Who you want to see win a World Championship first, Jey Uso or LA Knight? And I guarantee you, LA Knight wins this poll. It's not just. I think that to me he's a little bit more over. And I could be wrong, but I think the yeet is fun. I think Jay is fun.
LA Knight is over, which is why I also think LA Knight and Cody is better and bigger and more advantageous than anything that he has available on Raw. And the only reason why I say this is because when you say back to your mentality, when you was like, I love only one championship because that shows the best of the best. And at that time, there was a real struggle of who was the best of the best because a lot of niggas was over, but a lot of niggas couldn't have that title. It was Brett, it was Shawn, it was Taker, it was Austin. The goddamn Ken Shamrock was over at one time. Steve Blackman, goddamn, like it was a lot of niggas. Kurt Angle,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of people that was there, and Cody, I still believe, and that makes me excited when you were saying about Raw, when you broke down the Raw situation. He was like, "Oh, he can do this with Drew. He can do this with Seth Rollins." When LA Knight stands across the ring from Cody Rhodes, to me, I think there is no bigger promo in wrestling.
Okay. I'm down to see where things go. I'm down to see where things go.
I don't think that'll be no bigger to sell a match than them two.
And if we get there and it's electric, I'll hand that to you. Like, yo, you called it, because you did say this a while ago and you're saying it again. So I hear you on that. I just feel like LA Knight is not going to be the one to beat Cody. And that's why I think that him as a world champion on Raw does more for him and does more for Raw as a brand. I think I think Jay is great too. But even if Jay wins the King of the Ring, he still hasn't won a championship. So even if he wins it, like Billy Gunn won the King of the Ring. There's so many King of the Rings that Xavier Woods won it that come and go. And I hope that this, with the new regime, Paul Levesque era, whatever you want to say, that they take this King of the Ring shit seriously and give them an opportunity and a real run. The best King of the Rings were, to me, the Bretts, the King Booker. King Booker is one of the best of all time. world champion while king. Like, I love that. Even Mabel had a better run as king than a lot of people. He was over, had faced Undertaker. Those moments matter. You can't just have you king of the ring and then we forget about you a couple months later. If Jay's king with a crown on his head, with glasses and doing yeet for a couple months, do we take him seriously towards a world championship picture? And that speaks to what we're going to talk about with R-Truth. This whole, like, when people are fun and like they're comedic, do you take them seriously? No, we don't. We say, oh, you're a comedy act. Like, I can't wait you come out here so I can do my dance or laugh or whatever it may be. So that's what it is. There are very few comedy acts that get over that way, like the New Day did, and are able to dial in and have like a really serious angle where it's comedy, but you can take them serious too. So that's what I'm talking about with Jey Uso. He's teetering on that territory of getting to like just be a gimmick. And after everything he's gone through with the bloodline and everything, there's a lot more story to tell with him. There's a lot more character development that I think can be stunted by this whole yeet thing. And then you put a crown on his head and say, oh yeah, you're yeeting it up. And he's King Yeet. And it just becomes, oh, we're going to sell t-shirts. We're going to sell glasses now. That's what he's going to become. And that's what I fear.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, realistically, like, this is, I guess we're talking about with rap too, bro. Like, I gave you substance. That's how you invested in me. All right, now that you invested in me, how you invest in me? This is how you invest in me. You invest in me by buying my shit. You invest in me by getting.
I didn't buy his shit when it was a heat. I bought his shit. I got the shirt over here when he got the substance. Go ahead.
No, but that's what we're talking about with music, right? You will always check back in, even if you checked out, to see if he gave you something that you like, because he already wrote you in. At this point in time, these niggas that's doing this, I don't think they bought them. I don't think they was.
I'm gonna get him a street t-shirt. Nah,
you know what I'm saying? We got the bloodline joint. We got the down since day one ish joint. We bought a lot of Uso merch throughout this maturation of them, because again, the substance and the growth of them. Right now, I will buy some shit for the kids.
Okay.
And that is right now.
That's valuable. And I'm just being real about exactly. Heavyweight champion. And you could sell maybe more merchandise if he's champion. I don't know, but to me, I'm waiting for the substance of the story. I don't want
that nigga is a world heavyweight champion. You know how much yeeting he's doing, bro? I'm yeeting all over the
place. I don't watch wrestling for that though. Like, cool, like. He's a great wrestler. He has great matches, and I could see him potentially winning a world championship too. True, but this is not what I want. Like, say my champion, you coming out and just and I want to see him develop as a solo act, and putting a crown on his head. I don't think. Maybe it helps. We'll see. I don't know.
Which is why I'm so invested in Tama. When you just said it's 50-50, that's what makes me think it's 50-50. Because realistically, there is substance in having a King Tama Tonga, I believe, with a new chief and Solo calling shots. Because if like, again, we talking about when Roman comes, like, if Solo crowns fucking Tama, like, the substance behind that when Roman come back, like, who the fuck told you? He told that. Remember Jimmy? That's the famous promo in the back. Like, stop making decisions. I called the audible. Nigga, who told you to call audibles? You run the play. We don't know if Solo running the plays. We don't know if he's following the playbook right now.
My thing is, me and you, we talked about it last year. The match for Solo is Solo versus Roman Reigns. When that actually happens, that turn. So what do you have? You have Solo as a king versus the tribal chief. That's already baked in right there. And then you have him, turning on Roman Reigns and setting up his own new bloodline. And he has a crown on his head. And he's like, nah, I'm the tribal chief. Like, that has more layers to it than Tama Tonga, who's new, being the henchman with the crown. Like he's just the guy in the back with the crown. You want the guy in the front with the crown. That's how I look at it. To me, you're diminishing the King of the Ring if you do that. Solo should have been the man to win it in my mind, but he was not even in the tournament. But I get it. It could go either way. But if Tama's in the final, if Tama's in the final, which I don't see happening, Tama's not beating Randy Orton. But if Tama Tonga is in the finals, he's not winning the King of the Ring. I'm just being real with you.
If Tama Tonga wins the King of the Ring and hands the crown over to Solo like Paul Bearer does the urn.
Okay. Did not think about that. That's good. That's good. That's good. I gotta hand it to you. That's clever. That's clever. And he didn't get his hands dirty. I like that.
Oh man. Yes. Now, I think we alluded to it a little bit before we got out of here, but Kevin Nash had a little clip. I'm not sure how recent it was, but as a pretty respected white guy inside the Black internet wrestling community and Black wrestling community as a whole, his opinion kind of really holds a little bit of water when he speaks about certain things. So he just was a little perturbed about how R-Truth is presented, considering the fact of how accomplished the guy is, how over the guy is, how respected the guy is. And again, he also said, again, paraphrasing in his words, but what young Black kid is going to want to tune in and say, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? That that's what I want. And he made
that R-Truth is a parody of, and he's not taken serious. Like, what Black wrestlers are on screen right now that we can say, I want to be that. And it's a very honest question. I think I see the Carmelos, I see the Obafemis. Obviously he's not the main. I mean, he's not the main roster, but we see.
Before we get at Oba and that promo on Tuesday, boy, he cut Wesley a new one. Did he not? You have a heart of a lion, a spirit of a warrior. I am the bringer of war.
Oh my goodness, yeah. He has something there, man. Like Oba's gonna be around for a while. I think he has an it factor to him.
Sure.
Leslie's also somebody you can look up to. But when you see R-Truth, he's just the comedic side of things. We had the same conversation with the New Day about a couple years ago, where we're talking about, where the Black wrestlers are a comedy act and they're not masculine and all that stuff. And we said then, like, hey, we want to see variety of Black men achieve success without pigeonholing them to what we want them to be. However, with R-Truth specifically, it does kind of, for me, his antics run his course for me. Every now and then it's funny. Every now he gets me, I'm like, all right, he's a national treasure. But it can be a little corny. And I think now it becomes just an act that people are just like expecting him to do something wacky and like he's a clown or something. Exactly. I don't think he minds it though. Like, at the end of the day, he's the man who has to be like, yeah, I want to do this or I have to do that. If you don't mind it, then go out there and make the friends laugh, make your money, and go home and feed your family. Like at the end of the day, because there will be some other Black wrestlers like Bobby Lashley, the Street Profits, that Black fans will look up to. It's not like there's none. Bobby's injured right now. Hope he gets well soon because I really want to see him get another chance at the main event. It's been a minute. It's been a while. But we gotta find. But we're getting Carmelo. Getting a lot of TV time on SmackDown. He's been in the ring with two future Hall of Famers and Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. And he even had a great match with Baron Corbin last week. He's a veteran in his own right, and he does this thing where he hits a move and then smacks him in the back of the head. And I love that shit. Like
he got this thing called mellow mentality now that he going by where I don't lose. I know. You know what I mean? It was like, how'd you feel about your, like, I didn't lose. I actually won. I may have been in both nights. You know what I'm saying? Like, my signing bonus starts next week. I'm about to buy me a new car, maybe a new house, maybe my girl some jewelry. I don't
Hey
know.
man,
And
yeah,
Kathy,
you always have a positive mentality regardless of the loss. I mean, I like it, man. Melo mentality. So shout out to Melo. So I hear where Kevin Nash is coming from. With the representation of black wrestlers and people want to say have to look up to something and not be a clown. But I see it. I know. And then we have Swerve, of course. If you watch an AEW, Swerve is the world heavyweight champion in AEW, who I think is being a great representation. And he's doing more media. He's doing all this stuff and I think I see a lot of maturity in Swerve. So although I hear where he's coming from with R-Truth, who I always wanted to see R-Truth have a heel run. Like I really want to see that still have a heel run. We almost got it a couple years ago, and then it just got derailed by Awesome Truth, and the whole stuff with The Rock and John Cena. But it didn't really manifest into anything, when he took the cigarette, he smoked the cigarette, and that shit was ill to me, so seeing that side of him show me that he could be something very entertaining as a heel and maybe get some teeth and win, some championships as a heel. But I think he's done the comedy act for so long, but it sells money, it sells merchandise. I get why they have him there because he's a utility player and he's a veteran who can go out there and make people laugh. He's good at what he does as a comedy act, like Santino Morella was too. So I don't mind it as much as Kevin Nash, but I do think that he has bigger and more to give than what he's been doing, if that makes sense.
I mean, listen, man. Unfortunately, I don't think we'll get that heel turn because
Why
Miz,
not?
Miz is gonna be the one who turn. Which I hope. Another person who works well as a heel. But back to the black wrestlers that we have. Again, you spoke endlessly about Carmelo. I do believe that Montez Ford at one point in time, at some point in time, will step up and be upper echelon as well. What's the guy name? The young NXT Javion, Javion. I can look up his name and not be so ignorant. Hold on, let me see real quick.
Javon. Jay, just look at it.
Yeah, let me look it up real quick.
But he's pretty slick, man.
I like it.
Javon Evans.
Javon Evans. Okay, yeah. I like boy. I like boy. Obi, we talk. Oba, we talking about him. Wesley's there. Um, um, can't bring out Montez without Angelo. Angelo has improved vastly in his ring work and everything like that. He has some character development that we can see there as well. Whether he be a baby face if Montez turns on him, or if he turns on Montez and have a little more aggressive side. Like I think that's another thing that we can, Montez was talking greasy on the bump. We might see Montez versus Carmelo real soon. You know what I'm saying? He was just a lot of it was a Montezism, you know what I'm saying? But he was you
I'll look it up.
He was, I can paraphrase like some of these Cubs come up here. You know why we the pride? You know why they call us the pride? And I was like, oh my God. That's another nigga we gotta reel in a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man. But yeah,
we gotta these little parameters we got on these borders, we just gotta have him give him wide enough where he can just bump around, my nigga, but he needs some borders.
Shout out to Montez, man. We're looking forward to, just to see him evolve because we've always seen the potential there. Angelo's awesome too. The Pride needs to get something going though. I mean, as a whole, like it seems like they have these failure to launch moments. They want them to be a heel group at first, then they turn them babyface, then they have them go against the Final Testament. Now it's we lost a tag team title match. So where are they now? They're kind of lost, in the shuffle. Speaking of lost in the shuffle, AJ Styles also lost in the shuffle. Dude has to figure something out, bro. He is when you come back and immediately lose all your matches in big moments, and you're sitting there and you lose the King of the Ring first round. They're clearly nothing for you. at this point. Just even the angle with Stone with Cody Rhodes, I think could have been done better. The match was incredible, but the angle going into the match could have been done better. So hopefully y'all can figure out what you're doing with AJ, because I think that he has a lot of
Well, and he won like a little triple threat. I think that's what it was. Like he came back. It was Randy, LA Knight, AJ Styles. You know what I'm saying? AJ felt like LA Knight took his spot when he went down and everything like that. I understand where you say it could have been better. But he was thrust into, I would say, something that was already there, right? So I think he has to find his way back in the deck. And I think the LA Knight and AJ Styles should not be done. It's a 1-1, and both of them work for opportunities for something. They both failed at that something. This next rubber match needs to be for Cody. And I know Cody also said he wouldn't mind running it back with AJ Styles, who on that roster right now. That's why I say LA Knight fits a very good slot in SmackDown, because main event talent on SmackDown right now. Who else do you have?
I think that LA Knight, if you have him going against Logan Paul, him and AJ for the United States Championship down the line can work for that rubber match. But as main event talent, I wish Bobby was still around. That would have worked. Roman should be coming back eventually. We have the Logan Paul thing is going to hold him over. But yeah, man.
It's next week. Right, Saudi's next week. So right after Logan Paul, nigga, like this next feud needs to be. That's what I'm asking. Like who is there? Like
Randy Orton.
Randy and Cody. Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And you got Solo too. Like, to be real, like Solo, he got some pull now, so he can take a step. Not that he's gonna win, but he can take a step and form the story, and then that lead to Roman returning. That can be cool. It can be. We'll see.
Okay. All right. We got anything else for today?
I think that's about it. I think we touched on everything. Looking forward.
Yeah, because we got the shows throughout the week and everything like that. So
Chad Gable, shout out to him. I like what he's doing, man. Shout out to Sammy. I'm always a big fan of Sammy. Bronson Reed, should be a good match at Saudi as well. Tag team championships is on the line. Awesome Truth will be defending against. Forgot, damn already. Finn Balor and JD McDonough. So that should be interesting as well.
And DIY won a fatal 4-way as well.
Okay. Yeah, DIY and Aussie and A-Town Down Under. Yeah.
A-Town Down Under. Hey, that sounds like a little flick. You feel me? They might want to change that name, brother. That's borderline sorority sisters.
All right. With that being said, no Vince. We out this bitch. All is love. Everything wrestling. We'll see y'all next week. And I will see you tomorrow at the Raw. Tune in for Raw Takes with Chitty Bang. Peace.